Alright. Jonathan Dye! Alright. What would you like?
Donuts!
PR package, academy, session with Joey or Mark?
Let's do a session with Joey.
Alright, so we're gonna do two more. We have actual papers. What? Right. Okay, sorry, the PR Scott. No PR. No, he has Joey. Yeah. Can I have those though? So that I can. Yeah. That's cool. What? Alright. So we got papers.
Yeah!
So you can actually look at it. We're still gonna scroll through the phone now. Sorry. Eeny, meeny, miny. Pick one.
Jennifer Me.
Beth Lazaro.
Beth.
Yeah! Alright, number 2. Okay. So, I'm just gonna lay here.
Nice. Lay it out. Pick one.
You can come up here. Okay.
Which one did you pick?
Alright, one on special with Steven.
Yeah!
Alright, last one, and then the rest of the prizes we're going to give away after the break a little bit later. Eeny, meeny, miny. Tamara! I'm sorry. I said it wrong every time. Tamara. Alright. Okay. And these are the books.
That's true.
I'm going on any minute. Stick around.
Notes on that. What? Yeah, that one's so good. So she's going for the monthly supply of donuts. All right. So we still have a coaching session with Mark Lovett, as well as the Storytelling Academy and the Mindset Program, and bags of books. There's some amazing books in here. So we're going to give those away after the next break.
Amazing. Congratulations, winners. I know you're all winners, but the prize winners, congratulations. All right, so our next speaker is just a little ray of sunshine. She's one of the most amazing people I've known since I've moved to San Diego and had the privilege of meeting you. She's just an amazing human being. I had the privilege of doing red carpet interviews with you at an event. Every time I'm around you, I just smile. So I am so excited to have the opportunity to introduce the one, the only, Linda Sunshine West.
I would stop myself from sinking when I read this stinking thinking. If I only had a brain, a heart, a home, courage. How many of you in this room would say you have a shitload of courage? Raise your hand. That's right. How many of you in this room can imagine yourself being on the red carpet at the Academy Awards, interviewing stars? I didn't imagine that happening to myself either, just 3 months ago. But I did, as Joshua pointed out. I'm going to share with you a method. It's called the ASK method. I think I have slides over there. Let's see. It's called the ASK method, A-S-K. And I want you to write down these words that are going to help you discover how you can get what you want with this simple process called asking for it. So I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey that I've gone on this last 3.5 years that shares with you how I got to the red carpet. First, back in my youth, I grew up in a very abusive household. My father was a raging alcoholic, and some of you can probably relate to that. And my father was very abusive to my mother, but never abusive to our kids. I'm bringing this story up because we were talking about our why earlier. And I was reminded, as we were talking about the why, what my why was. And I wanted to share that with you guys today. because this is where my story actually starts. Now, I was 5 years old. My little sister was 4. And we were huddled on the bed together, and I was cradling her. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. He's not gonna hurt us. As my dad was out in the living room, throwing shit all around the house, beating my mom. This was a common occurrence for us. Something was different that day, though. That day, I decided to run away. I was 5 years old. I was gone for a week. A whole week. If it were up to me, though, I would have been gone forever because I didn't like it there. I hated where I was living. But my mom called my neighbor, because I only ran to the neighbor's house, okay? But my mom called my neighbor and said, okay, it's time to send Linda home. So I came home. And I continued down the path of living in this household that was very abusive. Well, what happened is growing up in that type of environment taught me to be quiet. Because if you're noisy, something bad might happen. And it stifled me for decades. Then, fast forward 19 years, and I met this man who was just like my dad. And when I married him, I was told every single day, you're stupid. You're so ignorant. People are only nice to you because they feel sorry for you. So I believed it. And I carried that on in my life for decades until I was 51 years old. Now, 51 is really when my life started to change, and I really started to understand what life was really about. And that's when I discovered my calling. I hired a life coach, and I worked with her for a couple months. And after about 4 months, I was driving to work, my 49th job, by the way. I've had 49 jobs, because I was always running away from things, just like I did when I was 5. I was driving myself to work, and I was like, I hate this job. I'm going to leave. But what was cool is I had discovered my purpose on earth. And my purpose is bringing people together in safe environments where they feel safe, as I was protecting my little baby sister. I was protecting her, which makes me want to protect others. So then I started on this journey. Oh my gosh, I know my purpose now. What am I going to do with it? I had no idea. Quit my job. Oh, I'll become an entrepreneur. I don't even know what that means. But I'll become an entrepreneur, and I'll figure the rest of it out. So I did. Quit my job. My husband and I, we sold our house, and I embarked on this amazing journey. The first thing that happened during this journey is I attended an event, and it was called Secret Knock. The reason I attended Secret Knock is because my life coach told me, you have to attend that event. And I said, it's too expensive, I can't afford it. And she said, you have to attend that event. So myself, I said, if your life coach tells you you have to do it, you have to do it, no matter what it is. And so I attended this event, and it started me on this amazing path of meeting one person who led to a next person, who led to a next person. And all of this journey that I've been on in this last 3.5 years took me to the red carpet just recently. Go to the next slide here. So the first word of ask is to assume. You know, we say assume means it makes an ass out of you and me, right? We've all heard that phrase, right? But what I want you to think of assume is in a different way. And that is to assume when you ask, the answer is yes. Always assume that the answer is yes. And I'm going to tell you a quick story of something that happened to me while I was at Secret Knock. It's a 3-day event. It's the second day. One of the speakers comes up. Now, you might not know his name, but you have probably heard of his organization. Have you heard of Make-A-Wish Foundation? It's done amazing work. They've granted wishes to more than 450,000 children worldwide. Amazing organization. Well, the co-founder of Make-A-Wish is Frank Shankwitz. And he was speaking. And there he was on stage, literally larger than life. And I was sitting down there, actually front row center. So I made sure I got there early enough that I could be front row center. And I was just staring at him as he was speaking, telling his story about why he created the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And after he got done speaking, he went and he sat down at his table, and I ran back there with my camera. Like, I'm going to get a picture of me with Frank, you know. Got a picture of us. I was shaking inside, like literally just frozen shaking, because this is the founder of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I got my picture taken with him. So I got my picture and I ran back to my table, sat down, listened to the rest of the speakers the rest of the day, and then I went home. The next morning, I was driving up there, and I said, oh my God, I had this epiphany. Frank Shankwitz, he's going to be the keynote speaker at my event. And I decided in that moment, Frank Shankwitz was going to be the keynote speaker at my event. So as I was driving myself to the event, I was saying, hi Frank, my name is Linda. You're going to be the keynote speaker at my event. And that's all I said the entire way up there. So I practiced exactly what I was going to say. So I got to the event that morning. Frank was nowhere to be found. And I thought, oh man, I missed my opportunity. How many times you had an opportunity to do something that was staring you right in the face and you did not take it? And you kick yourself. You're like, damn it, I wish I did that. Right? Well, I was kicking myself, saying, I wish I had thought of this the day before. So then the speaker came up, spoke, and after that it was a break time, and there he was. I saw him during break. It was clear on the other side of the room. And it felt like it was a football field away. It was probably only 10 feet, I don't know. But it seemed like a long ways away. And I literally put my blinders on, like a horse has blinders at a horse race. Put my blinders on, and I was like running all the way back to Frank. People would stop, hey Linda, I'm like, I'm on a mission, I can't talk to you right now. Literally like walk over to Frank. So I get up to Frank, and he's standing in what I love to call the circle of death. 4 men over 6 feet tall. I'm 5'3", thank you very much. And they were shoulder to shoulder. The reason they were shoulder to shoulder, because the room was so packed, it was loud. And so the only way they could hear each other was to literally be like right in there. So I saw Frank, and I went here and I said, I didn't say anything actually, I just stood here and stared at him obnoxiously. And I didn't care because I was on a mission. Just stared. Hi, little lady. He didn't really. I just like to say he said that because he's Southern. But he goes, hi, how can I help you? And I go, Frank, you're going to be the keynote speaker in my nonprofit speaker series. And he's like, excuse me, gentlemen. I'm going to go have a chat with this young lady here. And so we left, and we walked outside. And we were outside for 20 minutes with each other. He was telling me the story about the Make-A-Wish Foundation, answering every question I had. And I was telling him all about my speaker series that he was going to be the keynote speaker at. And we shook hands and made an agreement. He was going to be the keynote speaker at my event. Because I assumed the answer was yes. Nothing got in my way. When we think no, that's fear. That's stopping us. But when we think yes, nothing stops us. So that's the first part of asking. Oh, can you go to the next slide, please? Okay. Does anybody know this gentleman? Jack Canfield. Chicken soup for the soul. Here we are. I don't know what I was thinking with that look on my face, but here we are on the red carpet. I'm interviewing Jack Canfield. The reason I wanted to share this story is so you can see that it's real, that I really was there. That's the only reason I show this picture. But this was a very interesting day. I went to this event, it's called City Gala, and Jack Canfield was speaking, but I didn't know he was. Like, I was just going up to the event because I was going to do some video work. And I walked into the event, and there he was. Like, he was just standing there, like right here, standing here talking to 3 people. And I, again, just waited patiently. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get a picture with Jack Canfield. This is really cool. I'm getting a little bit nervous. Yeah, that's Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul. I'm going to get my picture with him. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. They're still talking. What's taking these people so long? They're talking so long. So the 3 people started to body movement. Like their body language was like, we're done. So they turned and they started to walk away. There was Jack Canfield all by himself, just standing there. And he looked at his watch and he said, I'm hungry, I'm going to go get some lunch. So I walked up to him, I grabbed his arm, and I said, can I take you to lunch? And he said, sure, let's go. what do you want? I said, let's go Mexican food. He goes, okay, let's go. I said, I'm buying. It was really cool. It was our entire walk from there to lunch. We were at Universal Studios. So there was a lot of people there, but a lot of people know Jack Canfield. Everywhere we walk, oh, Jack, can I get a picture? Jack, can I? And I'm like, I'm paparazzi, you leave him alone. So I was his bodyguard walking to lunch, which was really cool. We're just talking, and people were saying, oh, how, something about me being his wife and stuff. It was kind of funny. People thought I was his wife. But then we got to lunch, and we're sitting down, and the very first words I said to him when we sat down for lunch was, Jack, I'm not here to take anything from you. I just want to talk to you and have a conversation. So we sat and we had lunch for 2 hours. I had an opportunity to just listen to Jack Canfield talk about his story for 2 hours. And I'm sharing that with you because I asked, hey, can I take you to lunch? Here's the fun part of this story, is I later found out that 2 people bid on Jack Canfield to have lunch with him for an hour, $14,000 each. Guess how much lunch was? $38. So I had a 2-hour lunch with Jack Canfield for $38. Because I asked, I assumed his answer was going to be yes, and it was. So it was just really cool. So I just want to show those 2 quick stories about the A. So we go to the next slide there. The letter S is solution. You need to find how you are the solution to their problem. Okay, so I'll share another story here is that I was attending, after the city gala event, and I had met Jack Canfield. I saw that he was coming to San Diego. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go to his event called, I can't remember what it's called, but Be the Greatness or something like that. And so I'm going to go to the event, I'm going to be a VIP, and I'm going to sit front row center. And so I got there an hour and a half early because I wanted to be able to pick my seat front row center. So that's what I did. I got to the event, and it was an amazing event. I happened to actually be able to get on stage because he does this event, and he gets you on stage, and I was on stage. But as he was speaking, he said something. Because the whole time I'm listening to what he's saying, and he said something about wanting a personal assistant, or I need a personal assistant because mine's leaving. So I thought, maybe I can take advantage of this opportunity and become his personal assistant so I can be in that area and learn as much as I possibly can from this one person who has changed so many people's lives. So when he went on a break and everything, I said, hey, you know what? I'd like to be your personal assistant. And he ended up not using me because he needed somebody who lives in Santa Barbara, and I wasn't going to move to Santa Barbara. But the point is that I was listening, and I went to him and I said, I'm your solution. So he really liked that I brought that up. So that's one thing, you want to do that. And then another story, just really quick, is that Stephen came to Secret Knock this last time, and I introduced him to a gentleman by the name of Les Brown. Yeah, you guys heard of Les Brown, right? So I introduced Stephen to Les Brown, and there was something happened where Les was waiting for me, and then I got waylaid, and so I was like, Stephen, are you there? Can you go meet with Les? So he's like, yeah, so I'll go meet with Les. So he goes, and he's sitting down with Les, and as he's speaking to Les, he discovers that actually Stephen has a solution to one of Les's problems. So Stephen says, I can help you with that. So again, listening for the solution, and how are you the solution to their problems? Okay, and then the last one, that's just me and Les. Okay, next one. It's just me. Whatever. So the last one is known. This one, you want to be known as the person who. So known as the person who has that solution to people's problem. So what is it that you solve? Really think about it. When people ask you, what are you looking for? You're like, oh, I'm looking for clients. No. What solution do you have for the people out there? And then be known as that. Because if you're known as that person who can solve that problem, people are going to say, oh, I know who can help you. It's Linda. She can help you with that. It's Linda. She can help you with that. It's Jeff, because he's out there, yeah. Hi, Jeff. Jeff, he can help you with that. So be known as the person who can solve whatever problems. So ask, again, it is to assume, be the solution, and be known. My name is Linda West, and I hope you enjoy it. Get up here.
I should make you walk the meeting. So what she didn't share with you is that she has red carpet ninja skills.
Yeah.
There were several, I was on that same red carpet with her, just waiting, like she was so engaging, and like every celebrity she interviewed, they fell in love with her and they would not move on, they just kept talking to her. So, as much as I love you, I was completely annoyed. I was like, I want to talk to him, what's going on?
Be in front of me next time.
Yeah, no, don't worry. Anyway, she's amazing. Great job, Linda, thank you. Okay, so another, like San Diego, for record, I'm from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, not that you asked, but anyway, San Diego is a very special place to me. I've been here for 9 months now. I moved here, been in California for 4 years, but ever since I moved to San Diego, I just kept meeting these amazing people. The De La Cruzes, Linda, and I could go on and on and on and on. I've been so blessed with the people I've met here in San Diego. But somebody that, I don't even know how we became friends on Facebook, but we did. I don't know how that happens. Facebook's really funny when you start meeting people like, hey, we're friends on Facebook. But I started watching this guy do lives, and was just mesmerized. Like coming to the screen of my phone or my computer, it was this energy that was so magnetic and so powerful, and everything he was saying was, I had never heard anything like it. And typically I don't listen to a lot of business style lives. It's not my thing. But I knew that there was so much more like behind this. And sure enough, as the months went on, I became a bigger and bigger and bigger fan. And I, like literally one of my favorite people on the planet. And then finally I've had the privilege of getting to know him a little bit more. I've had him on my show. And we've gotten to talk a lot more and see each other at different events. And this guy is the real deal, like the real deal. And it's not just how amazing he is at, teaching his clients business, and he's a wizard at what he does. And I think he's going to be talking about that today. But his mission to save 1 billion people, who will save 1 billion people, like it seems so unreal. 1 billion people, that's a lot. Like some people say 1 million, or like I want to save like 20 people. It's 1 billion. And the thing is, I know for a fact he's going to do it. This guy, our next speaker, Mr. Marshall Gilliam, is the man. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome for Marshall live!
And I am streaming live. Say what's up to everybody. I'm just going to set this bad boy down right here, and I'm going to talk a little bit today about how live video literally saved my lives, and how I'm going to be using, or how I'm going to continue to use live video to go out and save lives. So I think I have a slideshow coming up. Sharon, you want to just push play on that first slide for me? So you guys, really what my mission is and what my brand is about is, yeah, it's about I'm live video. So I do a lot of live video work. And I've been able to build a brand in less than a year. It's been longer than that now, but in less than a year, literally utilizing live video. And what I go around the world preaching nowadays is how to tell your story and the power of storytelling. So you guys are going to hear me say the same things over and over and over. And the idea of this is, you guys, I want you guys to be very clear on something. I'm not an expert. I'm not a guru. So I'm not here to teach you guys anything new. I'm here to get you guys to take action on things that you already know you're supposed to take action on. Okay? And that's the power of coming to a mastermind like this. So first, before I get started, can we just give a big round of applause to Steve Gillette and Steve and his whole team for putting this together? It really just takes one little gold nugget. Like Steve gave me one gold nugget that's worth the entire time for me to be here. So I want you guys to remember that as we're here. The second thing is can we give a big round of applause to all the speakers that have gone first and the ones that are going to come after. I'm telling you guys, these are really successful people who for sharing their time, their stories with us. So it's just an honor always to be here. And first and foremost, can we just go back to that first slide real quick, Jenny? And then my beautiful girlfriend, who's also my assistant part-time too, she's the one that keeps me on track and gets the whole thing going. So you guys can see here, yeah, right, how, the first slide, how to create more impact, influence, and income with live video marketing. Now notice you guys, income was not the first. I'm just going to save you guys the suspense here. I'm not here to teach you guys how to make money. I don't care about making money. Yes, I do, but I'll talk about that more later. What I care about more is impact. All right, what I care about more is impact. And as a matter of fact, from coming to places like this, I have a mentor, and I'm not going to promote anything here, but I have a mentor who's taught me the importance of giving back. As a matter of fact, he's taught me about creating for-purpose businesses. And the organization that talks about making money matter and creating these for-purpose businesses has allowed me to stand in rooms just like this with a why and a purpose that's so freaking big that I just cannot stop talking about it. So as we go through live video marketing, and I start telling you guys about telling your story in particular, I want you guys to know that this is not about making money. You guys all have the ability to save lives. Like, legitimately, wake up this morning and you can go save somebody's life. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I get messages like that all the time telling me I save people's lives. I have never made a commission. I've never stayed in a hotel, gone on vacation, driven a car that's better than feeling that. So as we move through this presentation, I want you guys to know, yeah, it's about live video marketing, but live video is just a tool that I use to amplify my message, to tell my story, and that's what I want to give you guys today. So I want to create that space, that permission for you guys to step in and understand and feel great about the things that you guys are doing. So let's talk about the next slide, and what we're going to discuss today is, again, we're going to be talking about storytelling. Now, I once heard Jim Carrey said that the secret to life is finding out your own talent and then going out into the world and using that talent to make the world a better place. Seems pretty simple, right? I'm a simple guy who needs simple systems. Who else is down for simplicity? You guys down for that? All right. The next one. The number one reason, no, you go back. So the number one thing we're going to talk about after I get through this is the number one reason people don't go live. So I'm going to tell you, explain the number one reason that clients tell me they can't go live, and then I'm going to show you guys how to fix it. All right, so that's the first thing we're going to cover. And then the last thing we're going to start to discuss is how I built my brand by utilizing live video and a silly little t-shirt just like this that says I'm live. All right, this next one. So, and then I'm going to give you that system for free. So you guys down to learn a little paid free organic marketing for your business? That sounds cool. Okay, and my number one goal for this entire presentation, you guys, is I just wanted to help you guys tell your story. I want you guys to understand the power that you guys have in each and every one of your story. No matter how sad or how plain it is, we all serve a purpose, and our story matters to somebody out there. There's 8 billion people in the world, and I promise you after today's presentation, and your friend of mine, you're going to be thinking about your own personal story, is going to have the power to impact people, influence your audience, and then the last thing, create income, okay? Because it's, well, actually remember, it's Zig Ziglar, if you help enough people get what they want in life, you can have everything you want. Did somebody check me on that? Is that right? Or is that okay, cool. So let's go on to the next slide. My name is Marshall Dillon. I'm a speaker and I'm a story branding consultant. And really what I've done is I've built an online brand called Marshall Live. So I didn't do the opening, but a lot of people know me online because I do this whole thing. I do my live videos. I go, I'm Marshall Live, and I am live. And I've been doing it for a while now, and I hated it for the longest time. But everywhere I go, it's people's like literal favorite thing. Like multi-millionaires will come up to me and be like, oh, Marshall Live. I love it. That's me, right? But the truthfully though, I no longer have a job. Like, I'm at work right now. Like, I'm at work. I get to talk to all these high-level people who are all probably smarter than me, probably more hustlers than me, but I just found out how to stand out by utilizing live video. So I'm at work. I don't go to work anymore. I never get up and do something that I don't want to do. My job is to live my life. Yeah, the last time, my job is to live my life. We get paid to go and be places like this and do things. My job is to tell my story and to impact the world. You guys are going to keep hearing me say this. It's about purpose. It's about impact. What are we doing on this earth that can change somebody's life? Because we all have the power to do it. And then my job is to become, literally like, what I have to do when I wake up is I have to learn and grow. That's it. Like, I have to focus every single day on just being better than I was yesterday. And then I put that silly phone in my face and I just share it. Like, you guys, there's nothing uniquely special about me. I'm a facilitator. I'm a hacker. I read books, I hack smart people like you guys, and I make videos about it. And I go, hey, check out what I learned today. It's not hard to make money and impact when you show up in the world with an intention to do it, and you reframe it. We all have talents, okay? Next slide. But now I get to live in my dream location, which Shannon is trying to inform me is now Orange County, which I'm still resistant to. But we might be moving to Orange County from San Diego. But for now, I get to live in my dream location. I went from being a broke bartender, literally down here in Gaslamp Tavern, not too far away from here, most of my life. No college degree. I've been to 5 colleges. I have 0 college credits. I started with no money. Like, no money. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. You don't have to be smart to know how to do this. You just have to be willing to put yourself out there, okay? I had no network when I started this. I had, like, literally no network. I had no experience. And I really had no idea what I was doing when I started. And now it's like, not that there's a lot of you that make way more money in this room than I do, but like I make at least 5 figures a month now just to make silly video content for my phones. Like $100,000 a year to do what? Like to travel around and love what you do. And the thing of it is because of storytelling and live video, I've already built my dream life. I have the foundation in place, now it's just time to scale it. Like, I don't have to figure out what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm not going to chase the money. I'm going to tell stories. I'm going to make impact. I built a dream lifestyle, which I live with my beautiful girlfriend in a beautiful location, doing things I'm only good at and doing what I love. And because I played the long game, because I told stories I didn't try to capitalize in the beginning, I get to live a life that made me proud. And then I get to build a powerful and profitable online brand that's allowed me to do all kinds of crazy stuff. I didn't know I was going to do a PDF or a slideshow when I started. So this is a repurposed slideshow from a webinar that I run. So some old pictures in here, so don't mind. But let's see what's on the back. And I've been through. Here's us going to Moab. Just keep going through these things. We've done some cool things. You can roll through. Just traveling, getting ready to make video content. And this one was funny because actually when I did that picture, Shannon freaked out. She looks like she's happy there, but she was very, very upset after we got done taking the picture. What are you doing? And I've gotten to meet some really cool people. Like people I knew, like Linda Story, how amazing is that? Get to sit and learn from Jack Canfield. I've got to have experiences like that with Les Brown. I've gotten to meet Billy Jean is Martin here. I'm in this viral video here for Wolf of Paid Advertising. Chris Record, some of the guys you guys probably know. Russell Brunson set a world record here this day for largest bubble soccer game ever played. It was really awesome. Got a chance to interact with Caleb Maddox and his dad. There's a few more people on here. Lewis Howes, my mentor, Cole Hatter, who started Thrive, and you guys see me branded in that, and I talk about that all the time. Gary Vaynerchuk, Uncle G, and then last, Ty Lopez, just to name a few. But again, you guys, I don't show you all this to impress you. So there's nothing impressive about that. Life is about value. What do you value the most in life, and how can you get the most return for your investment on value? Okay, that's what we're going to talk about in a live video. I say to impress upon you what's value or what's possible, how much your life can change. And really, the secret to changing my life is the power of association and my network. Being at places just like this, but not coming and selling you guys anything. Literally just coming here and creating that space that lets all of you amazing people understand that you have a story inside of you. I create that space for you to step into your greatness and go, damn, he's right. And then you guys do your super smart and badass stuff, and you guys go out in the world, and you guys change it. And then I stand up here and go, oh, I'm on a mission to save 1 billion lives, to save 1 billion lives. So really, I'm just hacking already smart people. I'm just leveraging you guys. And I'm going to show you guys how to do the same thing. So, changing my mindset's really what did that. But it's allowed us to do cool things. Like, here we are on some TV doing some PR work for some brands, working with my girlfriend, my best friend. How many of you guys would like to be on TV? Anybody? Only a couple of us? All right, I like it. Josh was like, yeah, for sure. Next slide. And then not only that, but I'm going to show you how I've been able to fulfill my dream of becoming a public speaker and how it's leveraged that. So let's get to the next slide then. But for the most important, for the first time in my life, like more than anything, I'm happy. Like, how many of us can literally say we wake up every single day and we're just happy? Right. See, and I love the people in the room like this because you guys get it, but like for most people out there, they're not like us in here. Right? And the thing of it is literally, I was bartending one day. I was working my butt off at the Hotel Del Coronado back in the day, years ago, and I shook this guy's hand as he was leaving, this big rancher dude, and he said, I'm a rancher from Oklahoma. He said, you're the hardest damn worker I've ever seen. He put my hand out and he shook it and he walked away. I opened up and there was a $100 bill there. And it was in that moment that I knew I had to figure out how to get more value for my time. So it's never been about money. I've literally, every time I wake up, I'm like, how can I just be happy today? Because I'm actually going to share a story with you guys. Is it cool if, actually all this happened, I forgot that I put the slide in. All this happened because of live video. Literally all this happened because of live video. So I'm going to share a story with you guys. I'm going to get vulnerable with you guys. Is that cool? Yeah. Is it all right if you guys permission to get vulnerable? Because I'm a big sob. I'll cry. I'll probably cry during this presentation because my why is literally that strong. Like I get to do this. And for me, you know, my story starts here in San Diego, my first year out here. And I was 23 years old, and you don't have to do this, maybe we can go back to the last slide. I was 23 back then. This was a decade. I'm 33 now. So a decade ago, around my first or second year here in San Diego, I had just reached a point in my life where I was just like, that was it. I mean, 23-year-old kid, what are we talking about? I had my whole life in front of me. And I'll never forget it. I was sitting in an apartment that day that was completely empty. I'd been there for a couple months. There was nothing in the apartment. I had a freaking air mattress, and I think I had scammed City College on my last scholarship out of like 10 grand so I could try to eat and live. And it was really a dark point in my life. And I literally felt in that moment, that night, that I was out of options. 22 years old, and I thought that I had no options. I thought that I had no hope in this entire life. And you see, I started to ask myself some questions. And what I realized is that I was the problem. And I was taught basically my whole life that I was no good. And you know, what happened for me is my parents were divorced when I was super young, and I grew up on a farm in Illinois. My parents were divorced when I was 2. My dad was a severe alcoholic, and my mom she couldn't take it, so she had to leave. Well, for a little boy, growing up, to know that my dad, my hero, right, had chose alcohol over me and my mom, it was devastating. I didn't know how to process that as a young age, so I just naturally thought something wrong with me. Well, by the time I was 4, my mom remarried, and she got married to a stepfather who was really cool to me at first, for like the first year. But then we moved to this farm, and he was like a hardcore farmer. My mom would go to work, and I'd go work with my dad on the farm every day. And what would happen is he'd work me like a grown man, except he didn't know love in his life, and nobody was ever nice to him. So for my entire childhood, I had a grown man tell me I'm a worthless, piece of shit. You're nothing but, you're just gonna be a loser, alcoholic like your dad. You know, you're so unobservant. You're so worthless. Literally every single day I would hear this multiple times a day, no matter how hard I worked. And then I'd go out into society and I would be homecoming king, prom king, class president, team captain. Like, your son is the most well-mannered boy ever. I would go out in society and I would crush it. But then I would come home and Phil would be there and tell me, you're a worthless piece of shit. You got bent over backwards for me, you don't do anything. That's what I was conditioned my entire life. So by the time that I turned 18, I got a full academic ride to college. And I didn't make it the first semester until I threw it all away. Because I was taught that no matter how much success I have in life, it doesn't matter because nobody's going to be proud of you. Nobody's going to love you for it. And it was that realization. I remember what it was like to be 10 years old. And literally all I wanted was my dad to play catch with me. Like, what are we talking about? Like, do you just play catch with me? I don't even want 30 minutes of your time, just throw the ball with me a couple of times. I couldn't get it. I know what it's like to be that 16-year-old boy sitting on a corner of a bed, hating your life, thinking that you don't have any options, thinking that there's no hope, and that no matter what you do, you'll never be any good. And that's where I found myself at the age of 23 here in San Diego. By that time, I was way addicted to drugs, way addicted to drinking, way addicted to trying to outrun my problems and not be accountable. And it all mounted up to one night when I got home to my apartment. It was empty. I was alone. And I said, this is it. I don't want to do this anymore. And I took a bottle of Xanax. There was like 50 Xanax, a bunch of drugs, drank almost a bottle of vodka, and I was just ready to go. And I'll never forget that night because I was 2,100 miles away, and I called my mom. It's like one last, I'm just going to say goodbye, you know? And it was in that moment that she got on the phone and she could tell something was wrong, and she was screaming in the phone, Marshall, wake up! Wake up, Marshall! No, do not go to sleep. And the whole time I know I'm going out, but I had instant regret. I had instant regret that I couldn't take back. And now I think back to that and I go, man, I know how important it is for me to show up every single day, because if I can just help one Marshall Gillen in the world, one Marshall Gillen know that he's not alone, if I can make him feel loved, if I can give him something so he doesn't have to go through that alone, then that's what my mission is on this earth to do. You see, we were just at a dinner in Cancun last week, and with a bunch of high-level people, the guy running the event, his dad stood at the end of the table and told him how proud he was of him after this 7-day event that I was speaking at. I had to excuse myself from the table. Went outside and started crying. I lost it. I couldn't even, to be in the moment, 33 years old, I said, man, that's all I've ever wanted in my entire life, is just a man to stand up and tell me how proud he is of me. And I went out and I went live. And I was crying, snot everywhere. It was super sexy. I think it's like GQ spread coming up. But you see, guys, live videos would allow me to build this brand because what you guys have got to understand is the story that we have in our lives is the power to save lives. I didn't go live crying because I wanted people to feel bad for me. I went live crying to give people permission to feel, to be a man, to be a woman, and to live in your pain, to understand that it's okay to feel what you feel, because that's where the healing starts. And I've simply just used live video to give this message. I can sit here and tell you guys my story, and that's great. There's 50 of us here. But imagine if you can tell that story live. That's 1 million people. That's 2 million people. I can't tell you the number of people that reach out to me after I make these styles of live videos. People don't need me to be the expert. They don't even need me to be on point. They don't even have to see me succeeding. You see, because I can go live and I can share a story about me crying at this dinner, because I can say, you know what? For 33 years I wanted a man to be proud of me, but I'm lucky because it's a gift. It's a gift that my father didn't love me for 33 years. That I didn't have a man to do that. Because now I get to go out in the world, I get to save lives. I'm only 33 years old. I get to do this for the rest of my life. And that comes down to mind frame. It comes down to how do you perceive your life and the things you've been through. See, for my whole life I thought that was a pain. I didn't understand it. But now I look at it and I go, damn, it's a gift. They might as well wrap it up, put a diamond-encrusted bow on it and give it to me. Because I get to go out into the world and talk about my message. And this is what I want to impose on you guys. This is what I want to show you guys, is that we have the power to save lives. You literally don't have to worry about saving. The only life you ever have to worry about saving every single morning that you give up is you just have to resave yourself every single day. Because if you can resave yourself, you're going to be that person that you needed a year ago, that you needed 5 years ago, that needed you 10 years ago. Who is the person that you have to be today so you can save the you that you needed back then? And that's how I attack every single day. Now, knowing that, the rest of everything is simple. I just wake up every day and I tell my story. I go out and I learn new things, and I just apply what I've learned to certain stories in my life, and I use live video to amplify it. So if you guys think that sounds cool, if you guys can learn how to tell your story and impact the world and make money doing it, you guys think that'd be cool?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the things that some of the number one reasons that people don't go live, okay? It's literally the number one reason I hear all the time. Just real quick, is there a time check? I'm not sure how long I'm up here for. You're good. Am I good? Okay. So the number one reason I get that people don't go live, and it's the silliest reason, but I get it. It's the same reason that you have dreams that your teeth are falling out, right? You ever have a dream where their teeth are falling out of their head? That's the worst, man. Good thing you're not vain like me, that I don't have them very much anymore. But they say that the reason that people have dreams like that is because we worry about what other people are going to think about us, right? And that's one of the biggest things. Literally the biggest reason that people don't go live, they tell me when I work with them one-on-one, or if they join my Storytelling Academy, or anything they interact with me, they say, well, I don't know what my friends are going to think. Oh, I would, but I don't know what my mom's going to say. Yeah, I don't know, but Aunt Judy follows me, and I don't know. You know what? That's the biggest problem, is you guys don't go live, and not necessarily you guys, but people don't go live because they're worried about what people are going to think about them. Okay? That's the honest to God truth. This is how I built my brand. This is not about politics, but this is how Donald Trump literally launched my entire brand. He changed my entire life. Because the day after the election, I woke up, I got on social media, and it was like the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. People were just saying the most hateful things, just straight ignorance, and nobody wanted to hear each other. They just wanted to freaking just go at each other. And I was a digital marketing agency at the time, and I was like, I gotta delete Facebook. I can't take this. So I deleted it off my phone, and it lasted about 3 days. And I was like, how am I ever gonna do my job if I can't figure this out? So what I did is I looked at my business, and I said, you know what? My social media platforms are kind of like a digital storefront. And I was like, man, if this is my digital store, then that makes me the CEO of my brand. And I was like, man, it's the CEO of my brand. Am I showing up to my digital store every single day like a responsible business owner? And I looked at my Facebook profile, and I realized all of a sudden, oh man, I made an analogy like I do in my head to make sense of things. And I said, if this was a real store, if I had a real store, a physical store that you walked into, I wouldn't let my friends hang out in front of my store putting up sports memes. I wouldn't do that. You gotta move on, run a business here, bro. I wouldn't let my friends come and put up silly political stuff. I wouldn't let them share things through them on their Facebook talking to their girlfriend. Like, I wouldn't do that. You wouldn't stand in front of my store and argue. You wouldn't stand in front of my store and air out your dirty laundry. You just wouldn't do that because that's my store. That's where I make money. That represents my brand. And the same is true online. You want to know what keeps people from going live, from changing their business? It's because they're scared what people will think. In which regard, I would say maybe you should probably check out then who's in your network. Who are the type of people that are hanging out in front of your digital store? Because just like you wouldn't let those people surround your physical store, why would you let them hang out in your digital store? You guys, that little tiny phone, that's all the space that we have to communicate with the world when it comes to social media. So I would ask yourself, if you believe that surrounding yourself with people who want you to win is important, and if you believe that you're the sum of the 5 people you hang out with the most in real life, then why does that change when you're online? Your digital circle of influence is as important, if not more important, than your physical space, right? We spend more time on there than we probably do getting out and networking. So the number one thing that you can do right now today, like literally to instantly improve your social media, is to rework your network. Look, you guys, I always say it's not personal, but it kind of is. Like, you know, we're just playing on 2 different levels. There's some people I can't work with in person because they're not at the level that I need that I can get them to. Same thing with us as people. It's not that I don't like you, it's just that you haven't elevated to a level where I can either be of value to you or you can be of value to me. So when I'm talking about things like Facebook, YouTube, these platforms, ask yourself, who are you adding into your network? And for me, they absolutely, unequivocally, they have got to add value to my business or to my life. And if they don't, they can't stay because I don't let knuckleheads hang out at my store. I just don't. If you want to be knucklehead, go to where knuckleheads hang out. I have some friends that still be knuckleheads. I can point you to them, right? That's the first step is people don't go live because they're worried about what people are going to say. Now check it out. If you guys want to make an impact in the world, there's 3 types of people to surround yourself with, right? I got this from one of my other mentors, love him or hate him, but Ty Lopez talks about the law of 33, right? Law of thirds. And what it says basically is that you should spend your time, a third of your time with people who are on your level, that you can go back and forth with, collab with. You spend a third of your time with people below you who you can mentor, who you can help, who want to be like you, or want to build the business you can. And the third people are hanging out with people like you guys here who are above my level that I can learn from, who you guys can mentor me. Now when I make that approach with my networks, it's a game changer because what you're doing is you're cultivating an engaged audience that wants your value. Now tell me how scared it is, how scared you are to go live if you know that everybody that's going to see your video is somebody that supports you, wants to support you, or that you can learn from, that can give you feedback. And that's the game changer. You guys, we're talking about live video. It's just a tool. It's just a resource to tell your story. If you take away live video from me today, I'll just show up tomorrow with something different. I'll just figure out a different way to get my message out. But some of the reasons why live video is important is because of how much organic reach it gets. Now when we're talking about more things like, well actually, let's talk about the actual X's and O's of live video, which is, it's social media's current favorite content to make. If you're making native content, which means you're just making content on the platform itself, so I didn't make a YouTube video and then share the link to Facebook, that's not native. I took the video from YouTube, I downloaded it, and then I uploaded it through Facebook, and now that makes it native. So when I say native content, that's what I mean. But when you guys are making native content on these platforms, live video is the one that's going to get the most boost. Look, I'm not a scientist or a psychologist, but probably about 18 months ago now, live video is the ultimate life hack. About 18 months ago now, I was that bartender and I was like trying to get my digital agency to work, and I'm walking out of this meeting and I at Whole Foods in Hillcrest, and I was like, man, I hate this. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was like, I want to be a public speaker. How will I do that? And I said, I don't even know. I didn't even talk to Shannon about it. I just put up my phone and I made a live video. And I said, you know what? I said, this is my journey to becoming a highly paid public speaker. I don't know if it's going to work. I might fall flat on my face. I don't think I will, but I welcome you to follow my journey and join me as I show you what it takes to be successful. That's literally what I did. And every single day, I just made my friend. Every single day, I just made a video. That's it. I just curated my life and I just created that space, showing up every day going, you know what? I don't know all the answers, but I'm here to be better. I'm here to show you guys what it takes. People don't necessarily care if I'm winning or losing. They just want to know that somebody else is going first. So what I use live video for and how I tell my clients, I said, look, in a world where everybody's sitting down waiting for somebody else to stand up and start the conversation about suicide, about sex trafficking, about whatever. It could be any of the things that people don't want to talk about. I'm always like, F it, I'll go first. I'll just be the guy that stands up and goes first. Because if I can be that energy, that contagiousness, that gets you people here to plant a seed and you go, yeah, I should do live video, then that's what my brand's about. Saving lives, we will save lives. And if I can empower other game changers like you guys to go live more often, you guys are going to see how this works. Now, literally all I did was I go live every day. I make content that's pertinent to the people that are watching, right? And then I go to events like this, and I just show my face. And it's funny because who was I talking to earlier that asked me for a business card? And my ongoing joke when I go to networking events like this is I said, business cards, this is 2018, who has business cards? Let's follow each other online. But because I have content on every single platform, I already know that that's my hook. Because I know that once they get my profile online and they see me going live every day, and they see my branded profile, they're going to go, ooh, that guy's some kind of expert. And then literally all I do is I show up at events like this, I wear my I'm Live shirt, and I go, yeah, I'm the guy that goes on live. And then what happens is the people online, they see the comments from people like you at these events, and they go, oh, he's a real person. He's actually giving value. You guys get online and you guys see all the people commenting that are online that are like, oh man, your stuff is changing my life. This is amazing. And you guys go, damn, this guy must be an expert. And literally I didn't do anything except play both ends against the middle. I'm just a life hacker. I just hack life. I don't know what it is. I'm not a scientist or a psychologist. I don't know why people view you as an expert once they see you live on video, but they do. If there's somebody here smarter that can tell me what the mechanism is in your head that makes people do that, that's amazing. But literally all I did was go live, and I went to an event, and people were like, oh, you're Marshall Live. And that was that. And that's literally how I built the entire brand for free with live video. You guys have got to understand that this mobile phone is now a TV. Everybody has them in their pockets, right? The channels on them, they're just regular TV channels, except now they're on social media. Instead of ABC, CBS, NBC, it's just YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, LinkedIn. What channel is your viewing audience on? And then can you create content daily that's contextual enough to move them? I do it through telling stories, right? My whole storytelling brand is a for-purpose business. And I talk about that for-purpose business. The reason that we tell stories, the reason that I do this is because I'm connected with a home called the International Network of Hearts. And what they do is they build orphanages in Mexico, and they save kids who are victims of sex trafficking. Like, all I have to do nowadays is get up, literally tell my story. You guys, this can apply to anything. I talk about personal development. You can talk about anything, social media marketing. You can talk about getting leads for real estate. You can talk literally protein donuts, events. It doesn't matter. Live video is the ultimate hack right now. And it won't be like this forever, right? The only thing that's going to beat live video is AI or AR, and we're still a few years out from that. So if you guys really want to know how to hack your business, how to get maximum awareness, and how to really stand out, it's by utilizing live video, period. How much time are we almost up? Are we almost good? Okay, cool. So I'm going to tell you guys, I had a little bit more, but Shannon, can we just go to the very last slide? I didn't give you guys a lot of contextual of like the ins and outs of how to go live. I just wanted to knock down that big domino that you guys have that goes, should I go live or should I not? Look, paid advertising is better than organic, plain and simple. But either way, live video is a way to hack organic or paid traffic. And then lastly, it's going to help you stand out in a marketplace where everybody is so loud and everybody's trying to do something different. If you can figure out how to utilize live video, you guys are going to go to the next level. And I wasn't sure how much time I had, so I put a link up here. And it's just a download. It's 8 steps to dominating live video marketing. It's a thing that I don't even use a whole lot anymore, but I wanted to be able to give you guys something in case I couldn't get the Q&A, which I'm not going to be able to. This time we got some more great speakers coming up. So if you guys visit itstimetogolive.com, I have some things there for free that you guys can see all on your own. If you guys have questions, make sure you reach out to me, and I'll tell you specifically how you can utilize live video to tell your story. I have 15 more minutes. Oh, yeah! A little rush thing, but let's actually get into it, because now that you guys know the background of my story and how I've utilized it, let's get down to some basics, or get down to some real deal. Does anybody have any questions on how to do live video, how it fits into your business, or how I can help you? I'll start with you right here, young lady.
So which one do you think is better,
YouTube Live or Facebook Live?
So that's an interesting question, and again, it comes down. She said, which one is better, Facebook Live or YouTube Live? So I'll tell you guys a couple things here. One is I would probably say Facebook, but just barely. I mean, I'm talking barely, and it still depends on what your market is. You guys gotta understand you can go live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Twitter via an app called Periscope. And so she wants to know live video on YouTube or Facebook. I actually have multiple phones, so I can stream from multiple platforms at the same time. So that would be my first suggestion. It's for like 150 extra bucks a month. Like, what does it matter if you can get your message to that many more people? But the answer to your question is, what do you sell? What do you do?
Application clothing and coffee goods.
Oh, YouTube all day. So for you, YouTube all day, but really it's playing again both against the middle, right? I'm a hack, so I'm always saying, how can I hack both things? One is that for physical products or selling things like on e-com, YouTube is going to be really easy because not really easy, but for her market, her demographic is a little bit younger. And it could be older than you target on Facebook, but YouTube is really, really great for her. Now, the other thing that's really great about YouTube is when you advertise on YouTube, YouTube is owned by Google. We all know that. Well, when we upload our video into YouTube, if we make a great headline that has a lot of keywords in it, and we make a great description that has keywords in it, and it's tagged correctly, that's awesome. We can amplify that, and we can get views for like a penny at least, right? At most. But the other thing that's great about that is it's organic. It gives you organic reach in search engines. So if you're advertising on YouTube, it can actually increase your organic search rate by 157%. YouTube, that is right now, YouTube videos are 70% year after year increase on people who are searching for how-to videos on YouTube. Right? So if you sell a product that's like how to, hey, I'm gonna make a short video how to start your own coffee mug business. Hey, you could do that, and you could run ads against that say, hey, get my free coffee mug here, or get my course to learn how to do this. Or yeah, I'm just saying that you can get organic reach. So when people are going to Google and they're Googling these things, it'll push you up higher in the rankings organically over somebody that's paying for SEO. So I love YouTube for that, for the organic part, but Facebook's just a hybrid of everything. Like the retargeting, the retargeting for marketing on Facebook is just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that I always say Facebook's the best because nobody sells anything on the first try. Yet they say the average sale takes 7 to 12 touches. I love Facebook, and we actually use a video marketing funnel, a video matrix that we got from Famous You and Blitzmetrics. But yeah, so my suggestion would be Facebook, but just very narrowly. I mean, very narrowly. And again, it's only because of the retargeting, and YouTube's coming a long way for that. But it's kind of a toss-up for your thing. I would say both. I don't know.
Alright, so, this is multifaceted. Dealing with the people that are already on your list, right? And being able to get out there and speak your truth. But at the same time, because I've run into this, I'll get out there, like just like how you deliver it like that. But then I'll be contending with people from the past that don't need their new that's out there. Like, oh, well, I might throw an F-bomb.
Right.
And when I was just like, oh, okay, wait a minute. You know, church people are, oh, wait a minute, why you saying that?
Yeah.
And I'm a freaking Marine.
Yeah.
What you expect? You know,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, it's like, this really resonates right now. Because
Yeah.
that's how I like doing it like that. It's conversation with bro. It's like literally, how do you contend with I guess that aspect?
Yeah.
Like where do you go in your mind with it?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you
So-
get the juice with it
Right,
right now.
right.
Like,
Yeah, I think what he's asking is basically how do you contend with the negative parts of being transparent and vulnerable and putting your brand and yourself out there. And in the beginning, you just have to fight through it because there's a 1,000,000% going to be blowback from saying what's on your mind. Now, this is a caveat to what I always say. And Shannon's we've been through a couple of these things, and thank God, not too often. But there's been a couple of times in my career so far, over the last year and a half, where I've ran into things that weren't the best because of the way that I shared my story, or somebody, I wasn't in alignment with what somebody did to me, and I thought it was too big of a principle to overlook. So for me, sometimes I push back, not too often, but what I always say to people is like, look, I always say I'm the guy that shows up and does his job every day. And if you have a problem with me, then you must be the other person. And that sounds like a little hard-headed, and it kind of is a little bit, but legitimately, dude, like every single day, I almost lost my relationship the first 2 years. We've gone to counseling. We've said it's over more than a handful of times in our 4 years together. And it's because I've sacrificed everything for my life and not for money. I've sacrificed it literally so no boy ever has to sit in the corner of his bed again and wonder if he deserves to be loved. That's fucked up. I'm going to do that. So the thing for me is I put in the work every day, 18 hours a day, 20 hours a day that I building this business, sacrificing my home life, sacrificing money, sacrificing, all these other things because I want to literally make my life about saving yours. That's what I want. I'm not going to say that to sound cool, like that's my thing. So because I attack every day like that, and because I've created a mind frame that goes, if something's wrong here, it's my fault. And I'm always the first person to take a step back, even when I don't feel like I'm wrong, and I'm go, how can I make this different? Because that's the truth of it. It doesn't matter what happens to us, it's about how do we react to a situation. So to answer your thing is sometimes I've had to push back. But at the end of the day, I go, you know what? I'm the guy who shows up and does some job, so sometimes my brand, my people who love me and know me, they know that it's never out of malice. It's never a pissing match. It's that I have to stand up and take a stand because I don't feel what was done was just. And our big thing is people that treat other people unjust or try to pull the wool over their eyes. So for me, it's been building a culture. I've pivoted like 17 times in the last 2 years, but I could literally go live right now and go, hey guys, I'm done with this. I'm going to talk about plumbing from now on. And they would follow me because I've created a culture online that says, you know what, I'm here to serve first and I won't always be right, but I'll always be real. I will always create that space for you. And that's the power of live video. Thank you very much. That's the power of telling your story. So that's for me. And then the other thing, block and delete. I mean, look, it is
Delete all day.
it is what it is. Yeah, I know, the haters, right? But look, dude, I used to think that too, and I'd be like, oh, my haters are my biggest fans. I ain't got no time for that, man. If they want to hate on me, let them create a fake profile and do all that shit. I just don't have time for it. I want to spend my time with my beautiful girlfriend. I want to spend time with you beautiful people. I never have time to respond to haters. What I used to do it, but what's the benefit of my life? What's my number one thing I say? Be happy and satisfied. That's it. And there's few times when I've had to and I actually, it's only 3 times I can remember my entire life that I've actually had to go back like that. But again, when I've had to do that, you guys should see my brand, my culture. They're just
Your audience attacks them for you.
which I don't like either. That's not the point. It's not about attacking. But the thing is when you show up every day as the man or woman that does their job, your people will follow. If you lead with your heart, people will follow. I'm going to grab you next, Dennis. How about for you, brother?
2-part question. First part is when you started going live, what's the typical time that you're online?
Yeah.
And then how did you initially start to choose which one to talk about?
Yeah, for sure. Good question. So for me, you guys, first I'll pick one platform and nail it down hardcore, okay? There's lots and lots of platforms. For me, I do Facebook first. And then when you do Facebook, business page or personal page. Again, it doesn't matter what you choose, it's your digital storefront. However, Facebook business is only pay to play. So unless you're going to spend money on advertising, there's really no point to be on Facebook unless you're running a chatbot, which is a whole other discussion, okay? So you can leverage your personal page first and foremost. So it just depends, paid or organic. I would choose Facebook first, maybe Instagram depending on what you're doing. And then what I do is I think, okay, where am I going to use these live videos? Now, I'll give you guys a super secret hack that a lot of you guys probably know. I'm really lazy, I don't want to work. I'm trying to outsource everything and just create myself as a middleman in literally everything I do. So I can just build relationships because that's all I'm good at. I need smart people to me to run my company. So, knowing that, I do live videos because it's easy. I just push a button, I go live, and then I push end, and I'm done. I didn't even upload nothing, right? That's why I got multiple phones, because I don't even want to have to upload videos to multiple platforms, right? And the reason I do that is because live video is on top of that, it gives me the chance to repurpose my content. So if I shoot one live video, I can download it, send it to my VA, they can chop it up into 60-second segments, they can take a screenshot, make a quote card, they can take something I said out of it, put it on Twitter, they can rip the sound, put it on a podcast. I can make all of my content just from making a daily live video. It's cheating. I'm telling you guys, if you're not making live video yet, start, because it's the easiest way. Next thing, when I'm doing live video, average watch time on Facebook is 6 seconds, all right? However, average watch time on a mobile phone for live videos is 3.5 minutes. Average watch time on a tablet for live videos is 7.1 minutes. So think about that. The power you have to keep somebody's attention if it's live video versus video on demand, VOD, right? So the first question is, think about what it is your message is. Now, there's a way to start on for my live videos. For live videos, I usually aim for 10 to 20 minutes. It's a pretty good one. If I'm doing a live sales presentation, I'll go 2 or 3 hours. The longer, the better, man, because I keep the people that are like kind of teeter-tottering on and answer more questions. That being said, I shoot videos like this if I'm going to repurpose it. So I'll have my phone horizontal if I know I'm going to take that video down and put it on YouTube, if I want to use it for a sales page or something. Otherwise, I'll shoot lives like this because they actually take up more room in the timeline. So if I'm live like this in Facebook, it'll actually give my video more viewing area. So it just depends if you're going to repurpose it or not. Now this is the most important thing. I'll give you guys one more little pro tip now. I'll answer just Dennis's question. When you guys go live, remember that 90% of the people that watch your live videos are going to be coming back on replay. They're not, unless you're freaking Tony Robbins, you're not having people hop on and watch it by the hundreds or thousands. So that being said, when I do my live videos, you guys will watch all of them. I have an intro. I don't recommend you do. Mine just kind of got lucky and stuck. If you have something that's killer and people love it, go ahead with it. But say who you are, what you do, and then acknowledge the replay people, and then have them engage, give them a call to action to engage to increase that organic reach, then tell what the video is about, then welcome your live users. So when I shoot a live video, it looks like this. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Marshall live, and I am live. And if you guys are coming back and watch this on replay, thank you so much. Comment below, #replay. In today's video, you guys, I'm going to be talking about 10 steps of dominating live video marketing and why you're going to want to do this because you're going to love the results it gets for your business. Hey, thanks for hopping on, Anthony. Hey, Shannon, thanks for hopping on, Dennis. Joshua, thank you so much, you guys. If you're watching live, don't forget to comment, #live below. Now, I literally just did like 60 seconds. And I kept you engaged and informed the entire time. So now when we're talking about super ninja stuff like boosting your posts to the back end from a business page, when I can get somebody to watch my content for at least 10 seconds, Facebook sends out a big alarm. It goes, oh my God, people love this guy's content. And then they move everybody else's content out of the way and they pull me up front a little bit further and a little bit further and a little bit further. So now when I go live every day, I'm like the first thing that people see in their timeline. That's the power of organic Facebook marketing with live video in particular, and an example of how to boost it in the back end. Dennis?
I just wanted to add on to your hate thing. I was interviewing Caleb Maddox, whatever his name is. And one of the things that happened is he was doing videos like you. He does a lot of that as well. And all of a sudden you got 100,000 comments. And they were saying, you should die, you should kill yourself, you're an idiot. And all of a sudden you got a few comments or moms who were saying, you saved my child's life by doing this video, by giving him some meaning. So I think what I'm saying is what he's saying is this is going to happen, but you got to kind of power through it and know that other things bigger and better are going to happen.
Right. That's excellent. It's very excellent because that's so true. And that's something Caleb and I have talked about many times is overcoming that hate. Caleb Maddox is a 16-year-old entrepreneur, and he made a video one time that said, this is why you're broke. And he started talking about it. And when a 14-year-old at the time tells you this is why you're broke, you're going to get a bunch of backlash. And Caleb did. People are telling him you should die, I hate you, the world's better off without you. And what Caleb says in reference to that, he says 80% of people will hate you, but 20% will make you rich and famous, which is true. But again, I'm not about money, and I love Caleb to death, and I actually consider him a mentor, even though he's half my age. But it's about impact. So for me, it's like when I started, I had these best friends. Literally my best friends when I started doing this a year and a half ago, they would use to screenshot my videos on Facebook, and then they would start a group text behind my back and talk about how much of a loser I was. This guy is never going to change. This guy's all these terrible words. My best friends. So in the beginning, there's going to be pushback. It's just, there's going to be. When you stand up as a light that's so bright, people are going to throw stones at you, but every single day, all I have to remember is that Marshall Gillen from a year ago, Marshall Gillen from 5, 10 years ago, Marshall Gillen, he needs me today. Because if I don't get up and do it, then he's going to kill himself. And what are we talking about? My job every day is just to get up and give permission to people. If you want to hate on me, baby, that's okay. I'm like, that's all right, man. You don't hate me because you hate me, you know what I'm saying? And some people agree with what I do, but they still don't like me because they just don't like my energy. That's fine. Like, look, man, if you don't like me, I'm sorry. I don't think it's me, but I'm a pretty likable guy, but if you don't like me, I'm not going to argue with it. Then you find me disagreeable, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, it just comes down to how important is that why. You know what I mean? I was standing in Mexico 2 weeks ago, pushing a little 7-year-old kid on a swing. a little boy who was a victim of somebody that had molested him and sold him for money, right? And this little kid I'm pushing him on the swing, he's squealing, he's just so happy, and in that moment, I stood there and I had my glasses on, and tears started running down my eye. And I said, you know what, I remember how much I needed this. I said, I would have given anything. Literally, I would have given anything for my dad just to push me on a swing. And now I get to stand here in Mexico. I don't even know how I ended up here. I'm pushing this little kid, and I'm changing his life just with my presence. And 10 years ago, I was laying dead on the floor. 5 years ago, I was in some bar, probably doing drugs and like getting drunk. And now here I am today, getting a chance to inspire hopefully billions, I'm not going to say hopefully, to inspire billions of people because of what I do. I had a conversation in Cancun with a lady who owns the largest virginized water source in the world. The water's over 2 million people in South America right now. She's already connected with the government down there, and she's already connected with university systems up here to feed the program. It's all funded, and it's got to learn how to get awareness to it. I gave her the perfect plan to do it. She's already implemented it. That water's over 2 million people. So I used to be save 1 million lives, we'll save 1 million lives. I had one conversation that's potential to save over 2 million lives over a freaking frozen daiquiri at a pool in Cancun. Because I showed up every day and told my story. This doesn't happen overnight. It took 2 years of doing this. 2 years of people telling me I couldn't. 2 years of my family telling me that they don't understand. Why do you have to tell these stories? I don't know what you want me to say. Because my calling is bigger. My calling is bigger than this. It's not about God or Allah or Buddha or whatever, Jesus, whatever I don't care. It's not about that. But what if the Creator, what I do is very self-serving. Like, it's very selfish. I do this for me because it makes me feel so good. I get to wake up happy because I do what I love. Now tell me, if that's not crazy, what if the Creator made us so perfectly that the ultimate happiness and the ultimate joy that we can feel is only when we give somebody else that joy? What? Talk about the perfect design, like the grand design. So all I have to do is figure out what I'm good at, then go out in the world and make everybody as happy as I possibly can, and then I get to be as happy as I possibly can. What? Now all of a sudden I wake up, I'm like, dude, if this is for me, then what could be against me, right? And all I do is literally just tell stories on social media for free. They're handing out free money on social media, everybody, just so you know. Just so you guys know, free money on social media, okay? So anyways, you guys, I hope you got some value from this talk. I hope it's created a little bit of a reframe in your mind about how you can use your own story, your personal story, leverage my video, and then go out and make impact in the world, and then make a bunch of freaking money to do it. My name's Marshall Dillon. I hope you guys enjoy this.
Wow. That was freaking awesome, dude. That was amazing. I remember when I first started doing live videos and how I was like, I have nothing to say. Oh my gosh, like, no one wants to hear what I have to say. It's so far from the truth. Like, each and every one of us have a message that needs to be heard. And I say needs to be heard by somebody. That was awesome, Marshall. Thank you so much. Our next speaker, this is cool. I'm going to read this. Jennifer Meem is a graphic designer who works with entrepreneurs to transfer their vision into fruition. That line alone just gives me chills. I love visionary speakers. I love visionaries. It is so amazing. So to hear what you do, I cannot wait to hear what you have to say. Ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer Meem.
All right, I'm gonna have my timer on, so I don't have to rely on anyone. I'm gonna take 100% responsibility. Should I put it here? All right. If you have any kind of problem, please stand up. Stand up. Okay, I just did that because I want all of us to stretch. I figured that everybody's gonna get up because everybody has a problem. I do. All right, let's just stretch. We're good. All right, good. So my name is Jennifer Meem. I'm the creative director. I design the magazine and also for Sigila, as you can see, the postcard. But we're going to talk about something different today. And thank you, Marshall, for talking about doing live and having a story. Earlier, I spoke about having a challenge of self-worth, having self-doubt. And I know for the longest time, I am just like anyone else. I have a regular life. My life evolves in a routine. Nothing big happened to me that I can really share to others. I did not go homeless. I, didn't have to go through other things that women have to go through. I didn't go through any of that. So for the longest time, I felt like I had no story. And that's part of the worthiness. So my challenge today is, let's not devalue our experiences because that made us who we are today. Is that okay? Okay, today is going to change. So this is the topic for today. The secret to how you can pay off your debt in no time and with no additional income.
Yeah.
Okay, just for participation, how can we pay off debt with no additional income? Oh wait, no. Just any solution right now, because I'm going to tell you the secret. How to pay off debt?
Sell your kidneys.
No Starbucks.
Okay. What else? Budget. There's a second income maybe, second job. Meal prep, starting a business, saving money. All right. Good.
Bankruptcy.
It's an option. All right, next slide, please. So, what is the secret of paying off your debt with no additional income?
Discipline.
But here's the thing. You already possess it. It's not also it's not really a secret because you have it. Next slide, please. So the secret is the word mastering. Can you say the word master? Repeat after me. Mastering.
Mastering.
Mastering budgeting. Because as entrepreneurs, we look for things that are innovative. We look for things to make things complicated. But really, success is in the small things that we do well, and we do it consistently. Again, success in the small things that we do well, and we do it consistently. Budgeting is the same thing. We have it in front of us every day, the word budget, the way we spend, the way we make our income. But the key is mastering the details of budgeting. And that is the secret of how myself and Steve paid off $11,000 in debt in 9 months with no additional income, but because of mastering budgeting. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Next slide, please. If you can change your mind, you can change your life. If you can change your mind, you can change your life. I grew up in the Philippines, third world country. Grew up poor, but not quite poor, because we still have clothes, ate 3 times a day, have a roof over our head. But I remember growing up, have friends having Barbie and Ken, and a car, and the house. I was like, how do you have all these things? And I have a doll that if you tilt it down, it closes her eyes. That was like high-tech back then. So I had all these desires growing up, but it was not being met because of our situation. We're poor. So then I had a taste of my first check, and worked. We all had that feeling where we work and we got that check, we can't wait to cash it. And guess what? Can't wait to spend it. And that's one thing that I felt in my life I had control of. My money. I worked for it. I sweated for it. Nobody can tell me what to do with it because it's my money. I don't know if you guys know what I mean. It's my money. I get to spend it, how and who and what. So, thank you to my mentor. It's about changing your mindset. It's a shift that I had to see money in a different way. I had to see money in a different purpose. I had to see money in a different intention. So when someone, like like our mentor, your mentor, planted a seed of new vision and new purpose, suddenly you have a choice. Suddenly I had a choice. And my choice was to change. But first, in order to change, I had to change my mindset, my thinking. And we talk about that today with the story and the mindset, especially going live. It's all up here. So when I thought I couldn't, then actually the reality is I could. So what changed? I got introduced to the real application of budgeting, which I'm about to share with you today. Next slide, please. Okay, so budgeting is such a big, vast area of space, but we're just going to focus on 3 key areas. Is that okay? Yeah. So the first is the income expenses. Second is the emergency fund. And third is the cash method. Next slide, please. We're going to start with the income and expenses. Remember, it's my money. I get to do whatever I want with it. But when somebody tells you this is how you do the money, you listen and obey. That's why you hire a coach. You listen and obey. So the first principles of income and expenses is you need to know where your money is going. That is just the basic foundation of how to manage it. Know where it's going. So the income part was easy to calculate. 2, 3 income stream, done. Now the expenses, now that's the challenging part. That's actually have to sit down, take my time, go into accounts, go back 3 months, tackle each transactions, because remember, I wasn't thinking about where my money is going. So I had to really sit down and look at every detail, every item, and categorize it. And guess what I found out? There's some money I'm paying that I'm not using. Who has done the free trial after like 14, 30 days? And then you get charged and you don't think about it because it's on auto pay? Okay. So by knowing where your money is, you get to save money. How cool is that? And the second part is you need to track it. If you cannot track it, you can't measure it. If you cannot track it and measure it, you cannot improve it. But money is so important. It's very interesting how, think of money now, if you haven't think of it so, think of money as a relationship. To build a relationship, you gotta spend time with money. You know what's good for money. You need to know what hurts the money. You need to know what grows money. And you really have to pay attention to your money. That's the only way to have a stronger relationship with your money and to grow. And the plan is to grow. So what happened was, because of the income expenses, again, I figured out that there's some things that we didn't do. And then we're like, wait, we spend that much money on food? Because we're just constantly spending and not knowing anything. So the goal really is, if there's anything, you just really gotta know, and it's dollar for dollar. Let's go into details, because it's mastering. It's not just, I spend this or this much. No, let's go in depth and go into detail. Next slide, please. Okay, emergency fund. Emergency fund is not a savings fund. Okay, I put the asterisk mind shift because I got scared. I got scared when the mentor says, only have $1,000 in your emergency fund. I was like, but it's an emergency fund. I need to have more than $1,000 in my emergency fund. So there's a scare feeling to it. So I was like, okay, the mentor says, have $1,000 emergency fund. Because savings has its own category. Because a lot of people combine emergency fund and savings funds together.